versus Harden and Westbrook, and they'll be previewing that big fight in MSG on Saturday between Diaz and Masvidal. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, the Lakers take on the Mavs tonight, but they will be doing so with a brand new piece. They will have the debut this season of Kyle Kuzma. How will Kyle Kuzma change this Lakers team?
The Lakers are a tall basketball team. They have the opportunity to be a physical basketball team. That's what Frank Vogel as a coach prides himself on. And Kyle Kuzma gets buckets really quickly and effectively. And so now all of a sudden you put him on the court with LeBron James's intellect and playmaking, Anthony Davis's skill and versatility. It unlocks their front court. And closing the game, those three guys are going to be out there. The dynamic that they're trying to iron out is who's going to be the other two. I would use Danny Green, and then it depends on the matchup. Will it be Avery Bradley? Will it be Rajon Rondo? So he's a huge piece, and the reason why the Lakers have an opportunity, along with the other great players they have on the team, to do something special this year.
See, I absolutely agree. I think Kyle Kuzma is going to be huge for them because one thing I always say about LeBron James, you need to surround him with shooters and defenders. And Kyle Kuzma is a shooter. Danny Green is a perfect fit for a LeBron James offense, but now you have a second three-point knockdown shooter on the floor to help LeBron James and Anthony Davis when they suck in all that attention when they run pick and rolls. I think Kuzma is going to be huge for them. I think there'll be a drop-off in production from last year, obviously, but I think that his impact will be great on the win-loss record of them. They also face the Mavericks, and everybody talks about dynamic duos in the NBA this year. The duo is sort of like the term of the NBA this year, and everyone overlooks this dynamic duo, who we have the first to say are the only duo in the NBA that are on the rise, that have not reached their prime of their careers. They're locked into the Mavs for quite some time. I'm going to make a prediction right now, Jalen Rose. I think Luka and KP will win a championship together at some point in their career with the Mavericks. Are you with me on that?
I am with you on that. They're well coached. They have a great owner in Mark Cuban. And also, people are going to want to play with them.
Yes.
Anytime you have and plus, I love any point guard that's wearing number 77. I love any 7'3" guy that's wearing number 6. I just like that so very much. And so as they continue to grow and mature, they'll figure out how to build a team around those guys. They have something special going on in Dallas.
I really think so, too. I think that what this year will be a sort of growth year. They'll learn how to play together, and the front office and Rick Carlisle will learn what type of pieces will best complement them. And then over the next couple years, you'll see they'll start to form into what they ultimately can be with their potential. I'm predicting that the Mavs are going to win a championship in like 2022. And remember, I said this. Write this down, everybody. David Jacoby said the Mavs are going to win the championship in 2022. Write it down. I got a pen, too. I'm going to write it down. No one cares if I write it down, though. Moving on to another big game tonight, we have the Rockets and the Nets colliding in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets have been a little disappointing so far, Jalen Rose. They are right now 1-3 with their only win coming against the Knicks. Is this just sort of a slow start, or is this the new reality for the Brooklyn Nets?
Anytime you're anticipated to hover around being a 500 basketball team, there are going to be ebbs and flows to the season. And you got to understand, Karis LeVert was on an all-star projectile last year before he got injured. Spencer Dinwiddie is a terrific, whether starting guard and or substitute guard that can come in and dribble, pass, and shoot and play make. And then all of a sudden you add probably the most dynamic ball handler in the game in Kyrie Irving, which means there are going to be a lot of possessions where he's taking multiple dribbles and those guys are just spotting up. That wasn't necessarily what they were doing before he arrived. And then when you look down low, Allen struggles to go against players that are bigger and stronger than he is. And DeAndre Jordan just isn't as effective as he used to be. So, and Harris, I expected him to make a lot more shots. It seems like he gets opportunities to knock down, and every time I look up, he misses that shot that can be a momentum builder. So I think they will find a way to get it going and have a season that I anticipate, but the struggles are real, and teams understand that they have an opportunity to get dubs against them, and they're taking advantage of it early.
Well, James Harden has been on a tear thus far this season. He scored 59 points in Washington, and the team put up 159. We sort of assumed that Russell Westbrook's presence would, slow his production a little bit, but that hasn't been the way it's gone. What do you think about James Harden's offensive production so far this season?
So as we talk about building teams, that's what Daryl Morey did here. You said, and accurately so, the Mavs are going to figure out what to put around KP and around Luka. That's what the Rockets have done here. The only two people that are going to be ball dominant on their team are James Harden and Russell Westbrook. That's why they're going to basically account for the majority of their points and assists. He had 59, Russ had his triple-double. And the parts around them don't necessarily need the ball. Eric Gordon, knockdown catch and shooter. Same with P.J. Tucker. Capella, rim runner, layups and dunks. And so these guys have the opportunity to play to the strength of their game on a nightly basis.
Jalen, the relationship between Trent Williams and the Washington football team has been curious. They've been at odds over contract negotiation all season long, and now it's gotten even more tense. Trent Williams is claiming that the Washington football team's medical staff misdiagnosed a lump in his head that later proved to be cancerous. Here's what Trent said about the experience.
I mean, the lump continued to grow over the years, and it was concerning, but it was no pain involved. And, if I'm being told by the very people who, I put my career in the hands of, they're telling me that I'm fine, then I'm fine. That's how I looked at it. They kind of underestimated it, and it was far more advanced than they had realized, and I don't think they realized how long it was there. It's a lot of emotions. I'm not gonna lie and say it wasn't. It was a ton of emotions, I almost lost my life.
I even got to a bag.
Like, seriously, I almost lost my life. It was you 30, coming off 7 straight Pro Bowl, and the doctor tell you to get your affairs in order. It's not gonna sit well with you, and it still doesn't. And it's still, even thinking about it's a scary thing to go through. Think of how you can describe your 9-year-old, 5-year-old that, daddy might not be here. So it's tough.
Wow, that daddy might not be here part really hits home for a lot of us, especially me. And my question for you is this: as someone who played professional sports, you've put faith in a team's medical staff, and he feels like he's somewhat been mistreated. And my question for you is, what is the relationship like between your employer and your employer having a medical staff? How much faith do you put in them? When do you get a second opinion? How does that work?
Now that information is readily available and players are as smart as they've ever been in the league, making sure that they do what they could to take care of themselves, you always basically need a second opinion because the medical staff works for the team. Let me say that again. The medical staff works for the team, not for Trent Williams, who this is so very negligent. I see a lawsuit coming in 3, 2, 1 seconds, by the way, number one. Number two, I applaud his composure to even be able to sit there and have that conversation with the media and bring us behind the curtain with a level of civility and maturity. It takes a lot of discipline to do what he did and not outwardly show his anger, his frustration, his disappointment. And there was a time during this year when with him not playing, there were certain fans that felt like, he was just trying to sit out to get a contract. He never even told the public this information until then. And so for him to handle it the way he did, I applaud. For them to handle it the way that they did is so very disturbing that I'm pretty sure he's been on the phone with some attorneys because a lawsuit should be coming soon.
Well, we will see if a lawsuit is impending or coming, and what is definitely coming, Masvidal Diaz right here in New York City. We will anticipate it and break it down for you right after this.